get morning's light, even though you're, 1,000 feet under the earth, streaming through your windows like it's morning. You're just missing the birds singing. So you all meet down, and lo and behold, there's Thorgil the gnome waiting for dealing with patrons. As far as the short rest is concerned, there's a hearty hangover stew waiting for everyone, with Bloody Marys in a large pitcher ready to be poured. One of the barmaids, she's like, there's a line of gnomes all like holding their heads and covering their eyes and just like holding out their hands with like a glass for margaritas, or not margaritas, Bloody Marys. And she's, as fast as she can, she's prepping, throwing the little bit of cucumber in there and everything, salting the top with like a chili pepper salt, and sending everyone on their way. And a couple of people, like, she actually has to turn them and lead them like back towards their table, because they're covering their eyes completely to avoid hangover light. And so she's like, just keep going until you bump into the table, and then your chair will be somewhere near there.
Now, why do I have the feeling that this is pretty normal here?
Oh yeah, this is like clockwork. This is like a well-run machine. They don't deal in mechanics, but they know assembly line, and this is the hangover assembly line process.
Gnomes know two things: we know how to make golems and how to drink. Like dwarves, except dwarves are 9.
Yeah.
Dwarves know how to keep their drinks down.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I guess they don't need it in the morning.
And Beavis, when I guess I'll wonder, did you ever make it back? You had to have made it back up to your room for your new outlook.
I think they probably roused me like a couple hours before dawn and kind of like dragged me up the stairs. Yeah.
Yeah, you totally passed out, and like you were like drooling on the floor, and they had a barmaid like carry you up. So
Can we say that when Thorgil got back, he had Thorgil assist Thorgil getting Beavis up?
Yeah.
So Thorgil
Yeah, that
and
makes
Thorgil dragged
sense.
him back to
Because
his
you're the
room.
one that saved me. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Thorgil totally assisted you.
And the whole way up the stairs, I was just kind of drunkenly slurring like, Thorgil.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I got a big kick out of that.
Yeah. Little gnome giggles.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So you all come down. You're having a good hearty breakfast stew. I imagine that it's got a kind of a white broth, potato and cheese and cream, very thick in its nature. It's almost like glop as far as things go, like sausage and everything, kind of like biscuits and gravy. It's almost like the gravy, and they just broke apart the biscuit and shoved it in there with potato. And so it's got this absolutely wonderful smell of things that you shouldn't eat if you're trying to lose weight. And you're all sitting down eating, and through the door come two people, a dwarf, who's in the Gaznig, my brain, it just shut down. Mithril. What's the Mithril? The Mithril Guard, which is the military of Gaznig itself, as well as a gnome, a female gnome, who's wearing a very tight black leather outfit.
Is this like Black Widow sexy or like professional?
Practical.
Okay.
Yeah. This isn't your dominatrix outfit. This is I might get attacked and this armor will protect me. But it is black.
I'd like to roll a stealth check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
The 6 foot tall lizard in the room full of 3.5 foot tall gnomes is just gonna melt into the shadows.
Just hide under the table.
Yeah, the only thing that you can hide is your gaze as you stare down at your slop and eating. Um, and they both like come in the door at like the same time, and then there's this awkward moment where they both start heading to your table and realize that both of them are heading to your table at the same time. And then there's like that like, no, you go ahead, no, you go ahead, no, really, you should go ahead, no, I don't want you to hear my information first, so go ahead first. And finally, um you see her, and she like whips around him and then shoves the dwarf forward, kind of like a almost like a movement of momentum, aikido kind of martial arts movement.
So
And
it's
kind of like,
graceful.
she's very graceful when she does it. And he's a big guy, like he's a hardy dwarf, as far as things go. I mean, he's wearing like scale mail, and he's got a big old battle axe on his back, and
He's Gimli.
yeah, a little bit. Lighter, fair hair. Hill dwarves have light hair.
Who
But yeah,
who have they walked up to? Who has he been pushed towards? Like, who is he closest to?
both of. Well, I mean, you all are kind of at a table. I'll say that he probably. Who would put their back to a door? Riley probably would, and Thorgil would, and Beavis would. So
I mean, I could take
probably,
a hit, but
Yeah, Beavis maybe wouldn't normally, but right now he would.
Well, I mean, you're in a place
Out of
that's
it.
familiar
Yeah, I'm
to
not
you
familiar
and
and
things
kinda
like
drunk,
that. Like,
yeah.
yeah, and massive hangover. But I really think overall that like Valium and Valar would be the least likely people to ever put their back to anyone.
yeah, it's
So
fair.
I figure of the table, assuming that you're all equally distributed, he kind of lands around those three over.
I would like to turn around then and look him right in the eye. Can I help you, sir?
He looks at you and he goes, excuse me, gentlemen and lady, it is the request of the general that the dwarf Thorgil be requested at the general's chambers for investigation or assistance of investigation with the utmost haste at his convenience.
Man, you try and help a guy out, and then he just wants your attention the entire time. Doesn't even buy you flowers.
Utmost haste at his own convenience.
Yeah.
That's an
He's trying to be
oxymoron.
polite, but he's saying,
Cannot
"Get his shoes."
do that.
Yeah, it's basically saying like
Is it only me allowed to go, or can the others accompany?
Valium, did you say that out loud?
Yes, I did.
Then Beavis would be like, they're pretentious.
he like ignores that conversation. He continues with you at Thorgil, and he goes, as an independent contractor for the Mithril Guard, you may bring any and all assets that you possibly might need to assist in the endeavors that you volunteered previously, as of last night, approximately at 10:30 p.m. To the general.
Alright, what did you tell these people?
Beavis would interrupt. He
We'd
would
be happy
say,
to help, of course. Aren't we?
independent contractor means coin. Why did you say volunteer?
The volunteer was the explanation or original agreement. However, as you, Sir Lightbringer, obviously understand, nothing in Gaznek is free, and the dwarves understand this, and your compatriot, Sir Thorgil, volunteered as much, and we recognize that he will be properly compensated for his efforts.
Wait, do you two know each other?
He like looks over at you and he goes, "This is Beavis Lightbringer. Of course, everyone in the city knows the Lightbringer family."
I'm eating my slop and ignoring him.
I'm just
I got my
gonna
answer.
I'm just gonna stare at Beavis, kind of like mouth slack jaw, just.
I guess I'd look up and be like, well, you never asked about my family.
Yeah, and
Fair
at that
enough.
point,
I mean, true.
he looks at you, Thorgil, and he goes, "Sir, I will not ask for your timetable as to when you will meet the general. However, I need to receive from your mouth the understanding that you have received my message and comprehend everything that I have stated."
Dear Formal.
Thorgil. As the DM, I will say Thorgil.
What happened? Got distracted.
He basically asked for you to confirm that you have received the message from the general and understand everything he
Yes,
said.
I'll confirm it.
Yeah, so you say confirm, and he abruptly does like the perfect like military 180, and then starts marching out, and he says, "See you soon, sir," and walks out the door. Almost immediately after, the female gnome in black leathers. Yep, Zach, you got that finger like you want to say shit.
So as he's leaving away, can I just turn around and go next?
The skulky one is up now.
And you see the female gnome walk up to your table, and she looks around. She sees that there's no chairs there, and she looks over at another table where there's like this one patron who's literally like has a bowl of the stew and a Bloody Mary, but just sitting there like this and like groaning, and she whips the chair from underneath him. And then,
Yeah, I'm not cool with that. I would like to try and stop her.
yeah, it's way.
Yeah.
Let's leave it up to a roll. A sleight of hand check for anyone that wants to stop it. I will say that Valar and Valium cannot because they're sitting across the table.
Right.
Oh dear lord.
Could I, instead of stopping her from pulling the chair, cast... Oh, okay, you got it, never mind. I was going to use magic, but sleight of hand is easier.
I have a tail.
Yeah, so I think at 25, I mean, like I would literally put it at a 20 for a DC check. How do you stop her from whipping the chair? Like, I think she's in the motion of it, and you stop her.
Just tail slap her. Just tail slap her hands off of the chair as she's doing it.
Really, like a fucking like lizard tail comes out of nowhere.
Just
and slaps
whack.
her hand from.
And you don't even
the
stop
back of it.
eating, right?
Yeah, just keep doing what I was doing. Just whoosh.
Like a whip. Yeah, awesome. And she like looks at you and she goes, "Oh, that was rude." And then she like sits and she goes, "Fine." And she like walks over and finds like an empty chair, and she like has a quick little conversation with like one of the patrons, and then she takes the chair and sits down, and she does that like douchebag where she flips the chair backwards and like straddles it.
High school guidance counselor trying to...
Yeah, high school
Oh,
guidance
yeah.
counselor trying to be cool, and then like leans it forward so that the back is resting against the table, and she looks, she goes, "Right, so I have a message. Which one of you is Valium?" It's such an odd name, and it doesn't really have a gender to it. I can't really figure out who it is.
I would like to look right at Beavis.
Yeah, so you look at Beavis.
I will join him in that.
I think she knows who I am. Valium, what do you do?
Yeah, I want to know what Valium does.
I'll totally play Valium if you want.
I don't get involved, man. I just
They're specifically looking for you though.
Specifically looking for you.
So do you take it, or do you let Beavis take the front line here, as we're just all looking at him because he's obviously the one that stands out the most?
I mean, I'll let Beavis play the front of Valium.
I'll tell you what, Valium, you, when looking at her, recognize that she has a particular piercing on her that indicates the services that she belongs to.
Yeah, she seems like she a sneaky person.
Do I know the actual like peoples that she's from, like the group, or do I just recognize that it's that type of piercing?
So we're gonna harken back a little bit as far as things go to the organization that you belong to.
Oh, I gotta dig way deep here,
The
man.
Dark Brotherhood.
Not quite, but A for effort.
So
The Black Hand?
Shit. Why is my bio again blank? I don't understand.
Oh man, that
Um,
would suck. I have so much stuff in my bio. How does